Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. And my name is Killjoy. And today we've got a bit of a sadder video today. We're going to be talking about the video game King of Meat. This is a game that I really should have done a video on much sooner before the bad news happened. But recently it was announced that King of Meat is going away. It was released back in October 2025 by a studio called Glowmade, which is a British company, and it's published by Amazon Games. And the game itself is a single player or 4-player co-op sort of dungeon crawler style game, which is about doing puzzles and platforming with a fun cartoony art style, and the whole thing is dressed up like a TV show. So King of Meat is the TV show, and it's all about you as the contestant becoming more and more known and running through these different dungeons and completing them and getting prizes and cosmetics and weapons and all sorts of stuff. And I'm going to be honest, it's probably one of the better live service games that I'd play from a gameplay standpoint for a while. But as of recently, the last week or two, it was announced that these guys are stopping development on the game. They refunded people, and the game is going away, I think, end of March, beginning of April. And yeah, it's very sad because it was a game that kind of had that Fall Guys vibe. It was very fun. It was very platformy. It was very, artistically goofy, which was all things that I think benefited it. And this is part of, by the sounds of it, a bigger thing with Amazon Games in general, seemingly putting less time and money into bigger AAA sort of experiences. And it is kind of sad because this game, I think, is about, I want to say £29.99 in the UK. I think I got it for like £17. I got it on a little bit of a sale over Christmas, and I had a blast with it. I think the game is really, really fun, but it is going away, and it's like one of those things, and it's a big issue with live service games in general. If they do not have a consistent player base, then that's it. Like, the monetization that these games put into it, if people aren't spending money in it, if they're not keeping that player base up, then they go away, and it sucks. Because this is the sort of game that didn't necessarily need to be live service. It just needed to function as a video game and, add DLC in for people to buy, I think, over time. So, a little bit about the game itself. The way it was, so you had the initial price, you buy the game, that would give you access to pretty much everything. And so as you're playing through the game, you've got these, your standard kind of battle passes, but you didn't have to pay any money for anything to start with. It was all like, you get in-game currency, which you could get a lot of, to be fair, and you can spend that on hats and googly eyes and different shirts and different trousers and things like that. So you get all this stuff that you can buy. There's a ton of stuff in the game that you unlock. The more you play, the more you get access to, right? So it never felt like it was like, oh, there's hardly any stuff here and you had to spend money. When you do eventually find the character that does sell real world currency, essentially, or you have to buy it with actual money, the way it was done was a little bit off, and that was basically, you'd have a bunch of items that would be there for that season or however long it's going to be, but to get access to certain items, you had to buy so many items before that. So let's say there was 3 tiers, there's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. To get access to tier 2, you needed to buy, let's say, 10 of tier 1 items to get access to that. And then if you wanted tier 3, you needed like 10 of tier 2 items. And it wasn't the best because you, as a player, and as you design your character, like my character, for example, you'll see in the footage, has a bucket on his head, he has like 2 antlers attached to him, a pair of 3D glasses on the back of his head, googly eyes on the front. Like, you get a lot of customization in this game, which is super awesome. But to actually make your players have to spend a lot of money to access the things they want, maybe a little bit shady. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely can see why people would bounce off of that. However, I never spent any money other than the initial price of buying the game, and the time that I played it, I just kept unlocking stuff and buying things and doing like in-game achievements and things and getting more money, and like I never ever felt that I had to spend real money. And that maybe is kind of the thing with live service sometimes, is that you need to make sure that your players, like the player base, I feel, of this game were probably very happy with the game. I never got a negative vibe from comments and things of what the game was. Like, the actual gameplay is a lot of fun. You go into these dungeons and you're either doing a lot of platforming or you're doing a lot of combat, and sometimes both. And you unlock new weapons and different weapon types. You've got swords and shields, you've got knuckles, you've got guitars, you've got a hammer, and then you've got ranged weapons like a flintlock pistol, a crossbow, all these different things. So there's always stuff that you're gaining, and you only have to do like a few matches to like level up. It was never like crazy, but the fun came in the designs and the fact that the game has a fully functioning dungeon creator. So you've got all the ones made by the company, all the ones made by these particular builders and things, but you could go in and just spend your entire time making dungeons and then challenging the dungeons and doing them yourself and putting in like hidden secrets and making like fun combat arenas, all sorts of stuff, right? And so it is such a shame that this game is going away, because I genuinely like, there aren't that many live service games that I play. The two that I play are Rocket League, which to be honest has one of the worst monetizations I've ever seen in a live service game, and then Deep Rock Galactic, which is more lighter on the live service element. You do get time to do a lot of the events and things they put into the game, but like, this game is just such a laugh, and especially when you've got multiple people to play it. The only reason we stopped playing it was at the time when we were playing it, my brother had a problem with the camera. The camera kept just deciding to twist 90 degrees or whatever it was doing. But I genuinely like, it's a game that I really like playing. Like, I went back and played it because I was like, oh, I've still got a couple of months to play it, and I plan on playing a bit more of it too, because it's the sort of, it just feeds to the things that I like. It's the kind of platforming challenges that you get in it, the way that you have to like dodge traps. It's got that like It's a Knockout, Total Wipeout vibe to it. You're trying to dip and dodge and dive around things. You've got the more puzzle heavy ones, which I've done some flipping awesome puzzle ones. You then got the combat ones, and the combat can be lots of fun because you can pick up items like a random TV and launch it at the enemies. And on top of that, you have the fact that it's very British humour. You've got these characters with different accents. You've got one guy who's a Brummie. You know, you've got this owl that's like up north kind of thing, Newcastle sounding owl. Like, there's so much injection of character into this game, and that's why it's even sadder, because there's so much stuff that's funny. Like, even when you speak to the skeleton guys, and like they're the enemies that you fight in the combat arena, and they're talking about like what they have to go through and stuff. It's just so well put together. And it just makes me sad, because live service as a function in video games is definitely not. It's that bubble has burst. Too many games have got their hooks in. So like, if you look at how Fortnite, being one of the biggest, if not the biggest live service game now, people don't want to leave that bubble. Essentially, they want to do all the stuff they want to do in Fortnite. They want to play as the hundreds of characters in the crossovers there. They want to be able to play all the different modes. The fact that they've got like the racing mode, Rocket League's go in there. You've got the Rock Band style mode, all in this one ecosystem. And you can't have too many games on the market for the simple reason like that is that people don't want to. It's that not gambler's fallacy. It's the sunken cost fallacy. They put all that money and time into it. Why would they want to go and start somewhere else? Don't get me wrong. King of Meat is, in my opinion, completely is different enough from something like Fortnite and games like that. The closest thing I can say to it is it's like Fall Guys, and Fall Guys was obviously massively popular because it's like, again, it's like that. It's a knockout, it's total wipeout sort of thing, and that's what it's closest to. So it does baffle me that this game hasn't done as well. Apparently, the maximum player count was like between 300 and 400 players, which is insane. It's such a good multiplayer game, and it's just one of those things where getting invested in like live service games is going to be difficult, because you kind of have to see how they're going to get on, because they go away very quickly. If we have to list off what we've got Fortnite, and they've got Apex Legends, and then you've got PUBG. Like, a lot of these are all shooters. I guess Overwatch is kind of one of those as well now. Again, another shooter. Fall Guys. Like I said, Deep Rock Galactic kind of is, but it's not onto the same level as these other games. They're not trying to pump out seasons and stuff all the time. It's just a shame. Like, it's a shame to see such a cool idea and a cool game going away so soon. Like, what was that? Like 9 months? It was launched in October. They did have like Mr. Beast and do the whole thing with that, but I'm like, that I guess wasn't the way forward. I think maybe like they probably could have done with going to multiple streamers and trying to get like a lot of people to play it and advertise it to that. But the Glowmade, which is the studio that made it, they're like a British studio. They've not made another game, and they're already sunsetting this one, which makes me think that studio is probably going to be shutting down. Like, if they're not making enough money, or they've realised that they need to go and make smaller games, and Amazon isn't willing to publish it or continue to fund that sort of stuff, then I don't know where that studio goes. I mean, I hope all the best that they manage to land on their feet and find other games that they can make. But this is so just sad. This has got more personality than 90% of the video games coming out today. Like, just sucks, especially when you like a game like that. And that's the thing, the very real thing of live service games. At any point they can just shut them down unless they put like a single player component in or an offline mode anyway, or even private servers, because likelihood is if people like it enough, they'll make private servers for this game. You know, I do wish I'd made a video on it sooner, because it is a ton of fun. It's a really fun game. You know, it allows you to express yourself on your character. It allows you to have all these things in terms of personality. Like when you got the guitar, you can jump around like on one foot, like you can from the Angus from like AC/DC. It's like, it's just full of. When you get like realistic games, you see all these games trying to be serious, and then you get something like King of Meat, which is just balls to the wall silly. It's such a breath of fresh air. And I am going to miss this game. Like I said, I'm going to try and play more of it. Maybe I'll do some runs and put some footage up of the game before it goes away. But this is just disappointingly sad. And I hope that somebody maybe, you know, a publisher or something like that wants to pick it up and continue to fund it, because I genuinely think with the right kind of push and the right kind of advertising, I think this game is like, the game's already in a good place in my opinion. I think it just needs like an advertising push. Maybe drop the price a little bit, like don't have to do a massive amount, drop it down to like £25 or maybe even just £20 to get people buying and getting in and that. But they don't seem to want to continue with it. I don't blame them. I just sad about it. But if you have got any interest, go and watch. I think there's like a cartoon they stick out on their social media platforms, on their YouTube. Just go and watch some footage of the game. You'll see what I mean. Even the footage in this video, but I'm sure people out there have had a lot of fun with it. Like I know that I have, and I am going to miss this game when it's gone. And that just in this day and age, it just seems like too many game companies are going away and things are happening, and it's not fun. It's not a fun time for the gaming industry. Anyway, that's going to do it for me today then, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like the video, hit like. Obviously helps out a ton. If you want to leave a comment, if you did play King of Meat or anything like that, then drop a comment down below. Obviously, if you want to see more footage and games on things like this and other like co-op games or multiplayer games, if you want to see more of that, hit subscribe. That I can always sort more of that out. There's obviously other content on the channel as well. And until next video, I will see you then.